So this is our Monday night meeting at 7 p.m. For many of you, you participated in this meeting in June, and then by July, August, and September, we made this meeting. We vetted the participants to make sure that they were participants of friendsofeastflatrock.org, legit participants. And so we decided to go ahead and record tonight's call so that each of you that's present can say a little bit about how you feel about our asphalt plant applicant withdrawing his application today. So let's hear a woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, great. Stacy,
Yeah.
unmute yourself. Stacy hadn't heard. Stacy, unmute yourself and share with us how you feel about that.
What? Are y'all serious?
We are serious.
Goodness. Excellent.
I was hoping somebody would participate tonight who hadn't heard. So what questions do you have so that other people watching this recording on the Facebook page will, is it okay if we send your commentary later? So what questions do you have so that we can answer them? It just happened this afternoon.
So was there a reason stated?
Do you want to take that?
Yes, there was a reason stated, and there was, like reasons that are theorized, right? And so the reason stated was they, SE Asphalt wanted to bring in a toxicologist from out of state to appear in person to give testimony and answer questions. Because of the coronavirus, that toxicologist was going to be required to quarantine for 14 days after returning home. She didn't want to do that. She's like, I'm not coming to appear. So SE Asphalt asked if they could do a live feed so that she could answer questions from the commissioners. That was denied. And the only option that they were given was to shoot a video and play a video, and they didn't want to do that.
So they withdrew the application. And we've been publicly acknowledging SE Asphalt, and we still believe this, right? That thank you for withdrawing your application and doing what's right by the growth of Henderson County and the citizens' wishes. It doesn't matter how we arrived at the withdrawal, it's withdrawn. And it doesn't, who knows what will happen in the future, and that's the future. As of today, September 28th, 2020, it's withdrawn, and that's what we have to celebrate. So let's also take some time to go round robin for other people's commentary. And if you're going to just, people who just like to look a little bit of the video, I want to say at this time to thank Henderson County employees, staff, planning board, commissioners. It is time to now write your thank yous. Thank also the opposition. Thank the press. Don't forget to thank Sheriff Kenny Clamster. He's been so great about just checking with me, like, what's the latest? Do you have any more affidavits and things of that nature? So our public servants have really done right by us, and it's also a time to really walk the talk. We know we haven't been threatening or disruptive. Now let's prove it and show that we can really be thankful in a win and not be, remiss about talking about the future and what's possible with the unity of 11,000 taxpayers that are committed to the future of Western North Carolina. And that's what I'm committed to, is that I told one of the commissioners, actually two of the commissioners, that what could come out of this is even more participation in the planning process. We've done so. Many of us participated in the plans in the past few years, and that's what's possible for the future, is even more participation. And I sent my email today already to Autumn and John Mitchell to say when there is a seat open for the planning. I had applied already for Saluda's in Polk County and was denied simply because we own commercial property there, but we don't live in Polk County anymore. So I could not serve on the planning board there, but maybe I actually fit the qualifications for the planning board here. I don't have political aspirations at all. because I'm a publicist and make my difference internationally with the press. And that feels right and good for me, but I'm happy to be a public servant when called upon, as is evidence of the last 4 months. Who else would like to share for once instead of yap, yap, yap? Michelle. Tired of me. I'm tired of hearing about me. So.
All right, I'm going to share. So John Noor, I was speaking to John Noor, I guess it was last week. I don't remember. He had some big news for us, and I don't remember what that big news was for us. And he started off
It was a toxicologist.
He started off the call with, I've got some big news. And I'm like, what is this big news? And he's like, the applicant has withdrawn his application. And he was joking. And for just a minute, I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And then I immediately, like almost immediately realized he was joking. And I was so deflated. So this time I get to feel that for reals, and I'm stoked.
Oh, that's true. I remember, I guess I just knew right away that John was like pulling a leg on that one. But
you knew because you had already talked to him, whatever it was.
Yeah, we have a good lawyer, you all. I'm happy with our choice.
He really is nice.
Yeah, he's good.
So, what else? How do people feel? Express yourselves.
Well, I'm just glad for the reprieve. It's been a long, hard few months, and to know that we have this time to rest and to celebrate. I'm just thrilled about it. I think we all need it. I know I do.
Amen. Yeah, me too.
That's right.
I'm gonna try to lose the 5 pounds I've gained. So.
Only 5?
Amen.
Only 5.
Yeah, mine was way more than 5.
But I lost weight during the pandemic and then into gain. So I'm like, damn it. So.
Yeah.
Gotta wait after Thursday to start losing though.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. On Thursday we're having the barbecue at. I have 50 people is probably enough. You think food for 50? I don't know. You know what? If we run out, we'll just go to Papa Dogs and get some chips or something.
We can start the Friends of East Flat Rock super diet after this and make millions.
Yeah.
Yes.
All honey.
I thank the good Lord we're gonna be able to get to sleep peacefully at night.
That's right.
Yeah.
I join in with the great to be able to take a break from it for hopefully an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Really recharge.
Yeah.
But I think if it ever starts up again, I think we'll be more ready than we were before.
I think so too.
I really do. I just think, I think we'll be ready, and more so.
I agree. Well, Barbara, the great thing that is, for me, one of the great things that's come out of this is I actually now have learned sort of what the process is in the county. And I didn't know that before, and nor did I really know the decision makers. And now I do. And so the planning board and the commissioners, it was just like a kind of an idea in my head. They didn't really know who they were or what they were about, and I do now. And I actually have great faith in our commissioners, and I firmly believe that had we had the special called meeting on Thursday, that the majority of those board of commissioners would have voted our way. I have complete confidence that they see the same things that we see for the future of Henderson County, and an aspect right there at that gateway does not fit inside of that vision.
Yes, and so the other thing that I want to just say, like, somebody said early on, it was somebody in the Democratic Party, because I'm Democratic precinct leader, if you didn't already know that, and you're still welcome at my table if you're Republican or independent. is that somebody said, you've really taught me about the zoning process, because people didn't really realize, and it's so evidenced by when the planning board said no, they thought we were over.
Mhm.
So I was like, first of all, as somebody, I'm already like always looking for those macro conversations, first as a theater person, and secondly as a publicist. And I thought, what a great story. The whole thing is a great story. Like, it's actually a little more rich than Aaron Brockovich's story because of like the timing of that it's taken place. And so I was like, gosh, it'd be a great movie. So if you don't want your name in the movie, just let me know, because I got to write a book about it. But it would make it really great, like, because rezoning is like applicable to almost every homeowner, right? So there's a large audience that would be interested in it.
Yes.
We even have our little moments, like where the person's drinking the water and she's like, oh, I brought that special in for you, and she's like, like we have our moments of that, right, with the signs and the police and everything. So it's been memorable.
Well, I want Jennifer Lopez to play my part.
Good. Anybody else? Barry, who's going to play your part?
Who are you asking?
Good.
Clyde and Terry. Oh, we all have to then you all have to share that, because that's awesome, right? Who would we play? Julia Louise-Dreyfus will play me. Love her.
All right.
Right, and we kind of have like, I'm like her little. I've already been told I'm like her southern sister. But more Seinfeld than Veep, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I want Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. Yes, Ruth. Hell yes. I love her, right? Who else? Who's in 864-144-113?
That is Carol.
That would be me, Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Chris, you say, come on. Now listen, Chris is the precinct leader of East Flat Rock. The very first person I called him and Kathy. And so Chris, please tell us a little bit about, you've been the precinct leader for so many years, and then this loudmouth comes on board in 2017.
Well, it's a loudmouth who knows how to use modern technology a lot better than I am. So, yay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited that we have such unity in East Flat Rock amongst the parties so that we can really affect change. Do you want to share your reflections as someone I greatly respect in the area? And, you've really been dedicated to East Flat Rock for a long, long time. You want to say anything?
Well, you're very sweet, but I'm a Foxon. I came here 18 years ago, so I don't know all the people, and I have some of the recent changes kind of in my head, but there's people who've been here for 7 generations. So I'm a learner. I'm not a real spokesperson. I just try to get things in a little better order, and I think that's a fine ambition, and I'll stick with it.
Chris always is like, to my, I'm always like, what would, like that when we say, what would Jesus do? I always say, what would Quakers do? Because he's a Quaker, and I just have like such deep respect for Quakers. They're like even the peacemakers amongst Christians, man. Kathy Taylor Murray, I also want to acknowledge you as somebody who made the phone calls alongside me. There's been a lot of people picking up phone calls, but you, Chris, and me, man, we were pounding up those calls those first few days. Do you want to say anything?
I'm just glad it's over with for the time being. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And what do Moms Against Asphalt plants say?
Oh, my daughter called today, and she was really excited, and she said, you must be really happy, and she said, I'm happy too, because I don't mind sending my kids there if there's no asphalt plant. So she was pretty happy about it too.
Nice. All right, and then how about Ellen, our health, what's become our health lead, our spokesperson in the health domain. Ellen, what do you have to say?
Health lead. I'm very excited. I have some hesitation to be totally excited because I realize that some of the commissioners may leave, some of the ones we've depended upon, and a whole new ball game may be erupting. in county government. And I loved when Clyde said before, don't throw anything away. You know, I'm a big believer that we need to remain prepared, enjoy the day, enjoy the fact that we have had a success only because of all of this whole group, but also to be ready if he shows up again.
Well, and it's a good point, because Judy Williams, who's the precinct leader of the Republican Party in East Flat Rock, she's in Highland Hills. So we were texting, you know, they don't participate in this meeting. They're the ones that really were behind the Orrs family restaurant protests and so forth. And, you know, Judy is just a natural skeptic, you know, and she's like, oh, doesn't mean a thing, right? So let's celebrate today, though. So, you know, I just, however you vote, have your voice be heard in your vote. That's the important thing. And, you know, Judy has always kind of said, kind of like lovingly to me now, he's a Trump supporter. So, you know, and I was like, well, you're a Trump supporter and we get along. It is possible that people of different parties find common ground. It really is possible. Who's our at 15? So 336-692-1508. Who's that? Let's put your name up.
Is that Linda?
336.
That's me trying to come in. Can you hear me?
Linda, yes.
Oh, hi.
Oh, good.
Linda, what would you like to say? We're celebrating, and Linda, our spiritual lead. Linda?
Oh, that's too high and lofty. I am just a longtime member and citizen of Reed Drive. That's my ticket into this group. I would just like to say the kind of community that's been formed around this issue. So we've got paddlers and preachers. We've got folks that are working middle management and corporate management. We've got health professionals. You know, I can go on and put these in couplets and identify the dichotomy of different types of people that belong here. Blues and reds and all the above. And what I've been so thankful for is the common bond that we have had and do hold, continually to hold. And that is the love for this mountain land. I'm one of those folks whose ancestors have been here since the revolution, before the Revolutionary War on one side of my family. And then my father built our home on Reed Drive in 1968. So I just want to say thank you for the common bond of the love for the land and the love for the people. And it's been just an honor to work with each of you and to sense that we can unite around something that means this much to us. I appreciate your work and energy on behalf of my elderly mother, who now can breathe a little bit easier if you'll quit burning stuff, but at least there's no asphalt being produced. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes,
and thank you for
I
your
second
partnership. Yes. And the letters that you sent to the commissioners and to the press, and thank you so much. And on Linda's note, we're not only diverse by occupation and politics and who we are, we're also diverse by age. Sarah put this graphic together, and this is of our Facebook presence. These are the people who, and you can see that we have a nice smattering of each generation. And I just, somebody, we got another troll or hater on one of the ads that I was with, you know, with Daniel Sage's, I think it was Daniel's. Anyway, he's like, you old farts, blah, 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 right? And I was like, we're actually not. We're actually not. And this, our new person, you know, we had our online rally on Saturday, which you did. If you didn't see the online rally, it's at our YouTube channel. It really was wonderful. WLOS showed up, and so it successfully got us press coverage, and that's what its purpose was. But also, gosh, close to 100 people have seen that online rally already. And I did send it to the commissioners. Maybe they watched it. But in that, like, people really shared, there was some new faces. And so the new faces were really inspiring because one was a teacher. He teaches history and politics at a high school at North Henderson. And that he says, listen, I have been in Henderson County, He says, I grew up and was raised in Dana, and I recently got married and moved to East Flower for its rich history and the promise that the opportunities that it forges for young families because of the affordable housing. And then he started to talk about, in a time where we can't really have faith in our national politics, it's nice to actually get engaged in our local politics where we can actually have a relationship with our policymakers. And then he started to talk about how he's teaching his students. And I was like, and honestly, the whole time I was like, who is this guy? I don't know who he is, right? It was a public event, so it could have been anybody. Speaking of, this is somebody probably trying to get on. Go ahead and I don't know who this is. Let me just see if this is somebody
While
trying
you're
to get
working on that, let me say what I've told to Brianna and some of the children, the younger people that have been a part of this. This is Civics 101, so you can figure out how the machinery works in your local community, and you can make a difference. And I wish there would have been more children, more young people that have been a part of this, because this is democracy at its best and at its most efficient, I think, at the local level. So it's been so pleasurable to see this at work.
Hey, everybody, your understanding is that it came down today, not Friday, right?
Right.
Okay, because WLS is asking me because they're getting something and other information. Who else would like to share?
Hi, folks. Hi, Michelle. Once again, thank you and Shane so much for everything you've done. I know you're relieved, and Andrea and I are both really relieved and ready for a small break here. I am certainly concerned about these elections coming up and the fact that the Board of Commissioners is going to be very possibly a whole set of new faces. This is going to start over again, I'm pretty certain, sometime down the road. And I also think that the next time this starts, Jeff Shipman will have his quiver fully loaded, ready to tackle this thing quickly and not give us 4 months to work fighting him. And we have to be prepared to hit the ground running as soon as those people within 400 feet get the notice.
Yes.
And I've already picked up all the signs I had put out publicly. I've got them stashed. I've got a nice backlog of signs. I'm keeping my t-shirt fresh and in the closet. It won't get faded out because I have a feeling we're going to have to do this over again, and we need to be ready. I think we all have suffered fatigue, and I think that was on purpose by their attorneys. Stretch it out, get us tired of it, get us fatigued, disinterested, other things going on. So, I'm thrilled, but I'm also cautious. That's all I can say.
Well, I sort of share that sentiment simply because I'm somewhat of a prepper, and as one, I pulled up my signs when I got home from the office in Salida today. Pulled them up in our yard, and I stored them away in the garage. I expect that we might have to use them again. But
let's make sure that we encourage everybody that's put out signs like at GE and everything else. We, according to statute, we have 48 hours to get those signs up once an issue is put to bed. Let's not do like the politicians do and leave them out there. Keep our Mr. Rogers face all the way and make sure that happens. But I think it'd be a great thing on the Friends Facebook page. Let's go ahead and put that message out there and encourage all the people that have put signs out publicly. Let's collect them and make sure that they're saved for the future.
Will, since I'm already one wine in, can you do that today? And then, like, Barbara, can you make it an announcement?
Or I'll do that tomorrow too.
Will you?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
But that's true.
Thank you, Will,
He's a good
for
point.
that reminder. That is a great point.
And Mary Warren just got all her clings out. Brianna's, I wanted Brianna to have a work experience because it's something that I did for my nieces and nephews. We're even taking taxes out of her payment. She doesn't know yet, but it's going to her mom because the mom's the man in the house. So, you know what I mean? So you got to pay the man. So anyway, she put all the clings out. So we got to probably just spread the word that we got to put up our signs and save them until, and then hopefully it'll be put to bed eventually, and all those signs can go to beekeepers and chicken keepers because we use them to keep our animals warm in the wintertime, to keep the wind from hitting them in the coops. So
it's great bottom boards for the bees.
Bottom boards for the bees.
Good wind blockers for the chickens.
Yeah, I always get those. I always try to get those political signs because then we can reuse them. Poop on them. They poop on them. So
I was going to wait a week and ask Barbara if she wanted to work with me on finding a toxicologist.
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing it up. Guess what? We have one. So doesn't mean that we shouldn't get more. Okay, because more the merrier.
That's right.
We went through our emails. There have been so many people who have written us, and 10 miles down the road is Sally, and Sally is a PhD, and that's her specialty. So, and that's very. By the way, our lawyer said he's such a naysayer at times. He's like, Michelle, it's going to be this morning. He was like, I don't know if you're going to find one because it's a hard. It's hard because it's like the stevia, that the thing stevia. So the reason why people who love stevia, here's the issue is when something's good, you can't always prove it because there's not studies for it, right? Like the stevia plant, right? But there's plenty on saccharin or the bad sugars or whatever, the alternate sugars. Same argument here. There's plenty of studies for corporations who've invested money in studies on toxology for the asphalt plant on that side. There's nobody paying for studies on the opposite side.
Right.
So that's why he's like, it's going to be really hard to find. But we've got a woman in our membership, and that's her specialty.
That is great.
It's kind of interesting. There probably aren't any corporate funded studies that say it's good for you.
Right.
Exactly. I can't imagine.
It's not really beneficial anyway, is it?
Right.
Yeah, I think he tried to convince us of that at the
I think
planning board.
It was greenwashing pretty hard, and
May
pretty
I
soon it's gonna be respiratory therapy. To have one next door.
So the question I would like to ask, you may have entertained it before I came on board here the last few moments, but the rationale that a pathologist could not be present for Thursday night because of having to go back in quarantine for 2 weeks from whatever business place, is that feasible, or was that a soft lie?
Could be either.
We don't know.
It's possible.
To say would be conjecture.
It depends on the states and the advisories in the states, right? And maybe Maryland has it could just be a family issue for them. I know I traveled to a niece's wedding that had been postponed for a long period of time to Texas, and I quarantined when I came back to make sure that I wouldn't cause problems for family.
Yeah, technically, we're not supposed to leave the state either, according to the health professionals who always ask at the door, have you left the state of North Carolina?
I'm personally very grateful that we don't have to spend hours on Thursday together. I just don't think that was, indoors, the shared air and the particulates that we have.
We might spend hours together Thursday, but it will be outside and it will be at a very appropriate socially distanced.
And it's not hours. Actually, if you notice, I consciously did 6 to 7.
Just an hour.
In and out, just for that reason. Now, if you all stay and walk the park and do your own thing, that's on you. But I wanted everybody just to kind of get their sandwich and go. So.
Here's your hat. What's yours?
I still have an 84-year-old mother to protect. I'm sorry. So,
you're not alone.
Right? Yeah, everybody's got their things. So we're going to definitely wear your mask, definitely socially distant. The question has come up is how will you find out? So again, if our asphalt plant applicants are watching, we want to thank you for doing the right thing and withdrawing your application. Should you choose to do another application, we'll be right here. Yeah. And we'll activate all the owned channels. So our friends of eastflatrock.org, the best thing for you to find is on that channel is, which not everybody signed up, right? They're relying so much on the Facebook page or change.org. There's only 2 ways that we can actually reach you. The best way is going to be our newsletter. So at this time, if you haven't already sent up, oh, for Christ's sake, there it is. I couldn't even.
Just couldn't go up their website.
Butterfingers. Okay, so go to friendsofeastflatrock.org, scroll down, and get notified. So make sure you're on this one so that you can get an email from us. Can you believe this is going to be going away? So we got to update all this stuff, but
yeah,
we'll also keep this open.
I want to.
We'll keep this
Glad
open,
to.
right? So this is not going anywhere. So these would be the 2 places that we would say when we hear of something. Okay, if we hear of something. And
yeah, I think the great thing is we've now got I don't know, what was it, close to 1,800 people in Facebook who are kind of our neighborhood watchdogs to watch for something happening again, whatever it may be. It might be with SE Asphalt, it might be something else completely, but whatever it is, we've now got a system in place for that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that we should.
We're ready.
I think it'd
Now
be
we can adopt a stance of relaxed vigilance.
There you go.
Exactly. And before we convene tonight, I want to really personally and from my heart thank all of you for all of the just selfless work you've put into this. Gary, you have put so much time and effort, and
Yes.
your analytical mind has just been amazing. I don't know that we could have done this without you. Ellen, same for you. Your expertise in health and well-being with your background's been amazing. Kathy, you made so many phone calls for us. Something that would drive me bananas to do. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that. Barbara, you too, you've made so many phone calls. You've acted as producer, lining up interviews for Michelle so that she could just move through those so rapidly with the get to know your friends of East Flat Rock. It's amazing.
And she made a ton of phone calls just this last weekend, just pounding them out. Amazing.
I know. And Kim Capps, you've been just fantastic. You're just unwavering support. You've always been on these calls. Stacy, same for you. Oh my gosh, you don't even live here. Like, just awesome that you're participating so much with us and helping so much. Linda, you've been our rock the whole way. It's been so great to have you, and your calm demeanor.
Yes.
Is
washes over you.
Really been powerful.
You're
during
talking to me, Shannon?
Been so trying for all of us, and you brought a sense of calmness for me especially, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, I thank you for that. But and my gratitude. This is the place of my birth, and you love it, and that makes me so very, very happy and thankful.
Yes, well, thank you, and you're welcome. And Andrea and Will, you guys have been so awesome, and your donations, that first billboard that we ever put up was directly because of you and your willingness to fund that. It's all the signs that you put out in the community, just amazing how much you've done. Ruth,
okay, well, hold on, before you go on to Ruth, I just want to, if you all didn't see this, I have to just brag on this for just a second, because this is what Ellen did with that first sign. It's so great from our virtual rally. Is that so fun?
I
That's
couldn't
weird.
figure out how to do it. Ellen's way ahead of me in terms of her,
And then
her Zoom
if you noticed,
savviness.
I couldn't get off of it. I had to put the ocean behind me.
I think I need a Zoom update or something.
Okay,
I
anytime.
know, it just like the whole time. And then if you watch the virtual rally, like after each song, you hear this awesome like commentary from Ellen. She's like, beautiful.
Yes, she did. You did.
Sweet. Like the punch that we needed, right?
And that song was, and you know, that was a direct product of the sponsorship for the billboard that we received from Andrea and from Will.
And Ruth, sorry, and now you wanted to go to Ruth. I apologize.
And Ruth, you've been a consistent supporter, always on these calls. Really appreciate it.
And always on Facebook, like getting that
Always
information up.
there. Yeah, just yeah.
And then our 400 feet team.
Yes.
Our
400-foot team, Clyde and Terry and the family.
I think a birdie told me that they were actually the reason who started everything, but we can't say for sure because the mailbox issue. We don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I think that they had the first voice.
Let me just say, whoever notified,
we didn't do the mailboxes.
whoever notified us with those flyers, that was amazing, and we wouldn't be where we are today.
We wouldn't know.
Someone had taken the time and the concern for neighbors to notify everyone.
And Chris.
And then Chris, you've made so many calls too, and your guidance and your experience in this has been amazing.
Yeah, just leading these flowering, and everybody who's not on the call that's
So
listening to this, right?
On the call who,
like your Sarahs.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of
so
people.
many Stain.
So many people.
Great.
Eric and
that great journey again. Your great journey, and all the Highland Hills people that Kim, Kim, make sure that everybody in Highland Hills is, and Terry Reed and everybody there is thanked on behalf of all of us. But let me say something about Great Journey again. So Mountain True was in the earlier call with the lawyer, and he said, you know, because I know that there's concern from Judy and Linda Duncan and others and Mary Warren and Terry Reed and everybody about what's going to happen in Highland Hills next. And Great Jernigan said, you know, what Mountain True actually works for are those types of environmental issues like the dirt that we saw on Spartanburg Highway. So Kim, if you know anybody in Highland Hills or anybody that's watching this, if there's concerns, we should tell Mountain True, because this is exactly what they do. And as far as the money, I've refunneled it back to our families who've invested money. If you've invested money and you need a reimbursement, let us know. I think we're going to tell Mountain True to kind of hold tight on the money right now, not to reimburse us for anything, to see what transpires in the next year. And then we'll if we don't need it within the next year, we'll probably just donate it back because Mountain True is local. Is anybody against that?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I would hold it in reserve until it's obvious we don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something good with it after that.
Yeah. All right.
Make
Well,
sure
that's
we
really
keep
it.
make sure we
Anybody
keep
else?
John's retainer in place too.
Say again, Will?
We need to make sure we have that attorney in place too.
Yes.
Oh, John's not going anywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Because we were like, we're not going to celebrate because how can we celebrate? He's like, you need to celebrate. Yeah. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, he's not going anywhere. So this is what he does. Like, this is his specialty. So he's got another thing in Asheville right now that's very similar. That's
Wow.
yeah.
Save all your old emails, everything.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Michelle, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay. I'm having problems with my microphone here. You said that there was dirt on Spartanburg Highway?
Yes.
Last Friday. So so we had a lot of rain.
Okay, so sort of like a mudslide kind of thing?
Yeah, and so what happened was, you know, Jeff Shipman is cutting in a new drive into that property.
You know, I talked to Matt at the planning department, and we were talking about the driveway, the road he's putting in, and he referred me to DOT. So I talked to someone there, and Shipman has not been in touch with them at all, doing an application to put that road coming in. So the person Matt told me to speak to said that he wasn't aware of anything going on. And then I said, our meeting is October 1st. So he said he would come out and review what's going on. So I'm going to call him up again and find out where that's at. But sort of surprised that Shipman didn't even contact DOT.
Well, probably unless he's modifying the apron in any way, he probably is outside their purview. The real issue is whether or not he's creating an unacceptable runoff situation, which to me seems like that would be more of a city issue, but maybe not.
Yeah, I can kind of verify that too and back up what you're saying, Gary, because we kind of went through the same thing with the adjacent lot to our house that we purchased last year. And I thought that I was going to need to build an apron. And so I contacted DOT about that. But what I was told is if you use an existing apron, then there's no process to go through. But if you need to build if you need to demolish the curb that's existing and then construct a new apron, yes, you've got to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing with DOT, they would also be involved if there has to be a traffic light there with the flow of how many trucks are coming out.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, at the point in time they finalize the site construction, they would definitely be involved with the DOT. But
yeah,
until that time, it's probably a city planning issue, and then it really boils down to whether or not. I think I don't know all the detail behind it, but you know, if he's disturbing land, like if he's grading interior to the site as opposed to just cutting down trees, he has to provide the necessary control for silting and water and mud runoff from the site to avoid impacting the local watershed. And if he's got lots of soil running down the driveway uncontrolled and running into the storm drains, then he's breaking the rules there.
So, but let's just, like, you know, just in case. Oh, sorry, Gary, I thought you were done.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. It's fine.
So at this stage, Jeff Shipman becomes just another neighbor, right? And so, you know, if you have concern, as you would for any neighbor, you're welcome to contact your local authorities for assistance, okay? And so some of those they are local government or DOT, or fire marshal. And if you have any other concerns and you don't know where to turn, then Mountain True, Gray Jernigan, who's the Green River keeper in this area, has said he was happy to help if citizens need that assistance, okay? And so just as you would any neighbor, just, you know, you can contact and ask questions about your neighbor, or contact Jeff and ask him, you know?
And Ruth, to your question directly, Gray said that this falls directly under his purview with Mountain True. If you see mud running out into the highway from Jeff Shipman's drive or anyone else's driveway, and there's enough mud that it's flowing into a storm drain, then he wants to know about that. If it's not flowing into a storm drain, then it's probably of no consequence for DOT or anyone else. But if it is going into wastewater, then he wants to know.
And
he has a storm drain 5 feet away from where he's cutting in. It's right there below it. It would go straight out and straight into that.
Yeah.
Well, I was out there, I drove by there today. He has put up silting fences, at least right there at the entrance, and some absorption matting for mitigation. I don't know if that silting fence goes all the way up the drive at this point or not. You can't see in there, but they're doing more work on it today.
It's probably not adequate. He probably needs a settling pond based on how much water can come off of that thing. But
yeah, and look, this is like what he is taking action within a short period of time to control the consequences of some choices. And you know, I remember we now own the property next door, but a long time ago it was the dog chainers, the family, they chained their dogs. And it was very upsetting to me. And so, you know, we just didn't agree on how you keep a dog. And I involved the law. And then I had the consequences of calling the law on my neighbor. And she let me know. And my bundt cake didn't heal the hurt that she felt. Okay?
Wait, you got to practice your bundt cake skills then, I guess.
Yeah. Or
that's right, Gary.
It has to be a sour cream.
That's got to be a really good bundt cake.
so before you call the law on your neighbor, you might want to have a conversation with your neighbor.
Yeah.
So
or a trip to McFarland's.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because if Jeff Shipman had really upped his bundt cake game, maybe we would have all gone along with this more willingly.
And on that bundt cake note, I call adjournment because it's under an hour. We're at 45 minutes, and I think we've successfully covered everybody. Anybody with a final burning comment?
Just love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday. Obviously, tomorrow's canceled. Bye.
Bye, y'all.